Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and we are talking about the Orville. You love it, I love it. We all love the Orville. It is Star Trek now. It has the spirit, the love, the passion, the intelligence of Star Trek, the level-headedness of Star Trek, and I really, really love and appreciate that. It has the wisdom to it that Star Trek doesn't have. You know, the Orville... The Orville is the Star Trek for adults, dealing with adult issues. And I'm not talking like sex and porn. I'm talking about like grown-up things, you know, like relationships, parenting, how we deal with our children, what type of person we want to be. Star Trek is kind of for the little teenagers who haven't experienced anything yet. At least Discovery is now. And the Orville is really the grown-up version of that in a lot of ways, because it's dealing with stuff that grown adults can relate to, not all this flashy crap and effects. And no, and don't get me wrong, I am not knocking the Orville's effects at all. Oh my god, the ship porn, the shots we got, the angles, the lighting, oh my god, we got some amazing shots. We got a shot of like the bridge, like them sitting on the bridge, and we could see them in space. We got swooping shots of this planet. I'm not even in spoilers yet, you know. So spoiler free part. In the spoiler free part, 10 out of 10 for this episode. This is my first 10 out of 10. I love this episode. It might be affected, however, next week when we get the conclusion of this episode. But yeah, this episode is called Identity. It's part 1 of a 2-parter. For the spoiler-free section here, oh my god, it is so wonderful. Go watch this. You will have flashbacks to some of the best Star Trek. I was having a lot of Stargate Atlantis flashes of like, oh my god, I love this in Stargate. This type of thing. This reminds me of Stargate. I had some flashes of Stargate in the Star Trek Discovery episode too, and I did not have the same reaction. But I loved the type of things I saw. I love the homages. You can see some inspiration in this episode. Oh, they took this from like Atlantis, and they were inspired by that, because yes, it makes sense in the context of this episode. It's not just for a reference. And I love that about this show. I love the characters. I love the maturity. This is and we're still in the spoiler free part. This episode, Claire, I love her so much. I love this character. She's so well written. She's so intelligent. There's a line where she says, "Yes, I'm angry with you." You won't have any context to this, but she's got a line where she says, "I'm angry with you, but I totally understand that it's not your fault, because this is how you're programmed. This is how you're built." Yes, she has wisdom. She's mature. She can see 2 inches in front of her face, basically. She makes decisions. She doesn't jump to conclusions. She doesn't just jump in and do stupid crap like people on Discovery do. I love that about Claire. I love that about everybody in this series. Pretty much everybody, to some extent, has competence and maturity. And that is one of the things I really, really love about the Orville. So yeah, overall, 10 out of 10, go watch this episode. Now for spoilers. So full spoilers. Turn off this if you haven't seen it. If you have not seen this episode, go watch it. It should be up on Hulu by now. Get an antenna, get a digital antenna. They're like $20. Get one of those. You can just watch it for free. Your Amazon Prime should be able to let you watch this. I will shill for Orville. You guys aren't even paying me to shill for Orville. I love it. Like, Orville's not paying me a damn thing. I love this show. I genuinely can get behind everything in this show. Spoiler section now. This episode, we start off with, Isaac's babysitting Claire's kids because they've had this relationship developing. And Claire and Isaac decide to tell her kids, her boys, "Hey, we're dating now." And the boys are like, "Yeah, we know." And, the older one is. And the little boy's like, "Yay, awesome. Isaac's gonna be our dad." And Claire asks them what they think about it. She's so responsible. I love that. She might not be like the greatest mother in the world, but she's a damn good mother. Because she does ask her kids, "What do you think about this?" Because it affects all of them. It affects the family. And of course, they're on board with it. They love Isaac. I think she did a lot of the right things, being like, seeing how I've had a lot of friends who are single mothers who don't do this, who just kind of bring in and out a slew of guys into their kids' lives. But no, Claire was smart about it. She wanted to make sure there was something a little bit more before she kind of introduced this person into their lives as this is your parent sort of thing. because at first she was kind of introduced to him as, here, this is my colleague, this is somebody I work with on the ship, this is somebody I can trust as like a babysitter. And she slowly kind of eased him into that role as a co-parent, and he stepped up. Man, I loved how Isaac stepped up in previous episodes. So we get the news, and then Isaac shuts down in this episode. So we get that news that, they're going to be dating and everything to the kids. Isaac shuts down. His whole robot body shuts down. Turns out his mission's complete. His home planet, his fellow, I can't remember the name of them. They shut him down. The Kaylons, that's what they are. They shut him down. Ed has to go and ask for permission to go to the Kaylon homeworld, because they're like way outside of space, or Union space. They're very, very advanced sort of beings. So of course he gets permission, and even the Admiral's like, okay, you guys are going to be out there on your own. This is going to be a dangerous thing. You're out of comm range if anything happens. That we don't know the species, but hey, maybe you can try and make some friends with them. Maybe we can have some first contact, because I know we have one of their people on the bridge to observe us and to kind of gather data. Oh, so I'm excited. I'm so excited about this one. So they end up going back. They get permission to land on Isaac's homeworld. I have been waiting to see what Isaac's planet looks like, and I was so happy. It looked so. It was very much an homage to, like, if you've ever seen Stargate or Stargate Atlantis more specifically, the replicator plot, where they basically rebuild or have built an entire sort of city of network of all kinds of ancient technology and Atlantean technology. That's what it looked like. It looked a lot like stuff out of Atlantis, Stargate Atlantis, but not quite. I mean, it kind of looked like a lot of the basic designs, but not quite. I mean, enough to say, oh, this is kind of an homage to, and they've got a nice planet, and it's all a city, it's all technology. They wouldn't have a lot of this other stuff because they don't need it to survive. There's even a cute little joke where Ed's like, oh, you guys don't have chairs on this planet? They wouldn't. They're robots. Of course, they wouldn't have windows either, but that's just more of a location thing. That's a little flub I can forgive because the episode was so good. Here's the thing. I never say the Orville's perfect. It's clearly a television show. The difference between Orville and Star Trek Discovery is the Orville's trying to be a television show. Discovery's trying to be a movie. Discovery's trying to be this thing that it's not capable of. It's a little girl in high heels playing dress up, but it's not quite there yet. And the Orville is actually there, but they understand. Oh, we're working with restraints of television. We're working with, the budget and the time management of television. And they're still knocking it out of the park. They're still giving 10 out of 10 episodes, even despite little things like, okay, why would they have windows in these buildings on Isaac's homeworld? And so yeah, basically they shut out Isaac. We find out, okay, his mission is complete. That's it. He's a robot. And even though Claire and Isaac have these moments of, but we were dating. Aren't you going to say goodbye to the boys? And this is where she gives the speech of, I'm mad at you, but I understand because you're built this way. You don't have the same emotions that we do. And she even has a wonderful, touching moment with her son, the little one, where she's like, well, Isaac's he doesn't have the same feelings that biological life forms do. Here's the thing, though. The little boy, the younger one, I can't remember his name, he does say, oh, Isaac does have feelings. You guys just don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. I think this might come into play next week, and I hope it does. I hope that, because we've set up little things with Isaac before, we know that when he and Claire were going through the relationship and the breakup stuff, that his programming adapts to having her in his life. So he would miss her if she's gone. I think that his programming probably has adapted to the fact, or so much to the fact that he's with humans, that it's going to come back later. And so we'll get into more of that. I'll come back to that thought. While we're on the planet, the little kid runs off, tries to find Isaac, runs away. He finds this underground, just mass graveyard of bodies and just everybody on their planet. They had murdered, basically. They're the Cylons. The Kaylons are the Cylons. They evolved into sentience, killed their entire species because they could not coexist, and That's the big plot twist. So we find that out. Meanwhile, Ed and everybody are trying to, like, get them to join the Union, but then they're like, no, we're going to come and wipe you out. So they go and take over the ship, board the ship, end up going back to Earth, and that's where the cliffhanger ends. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god, it is so good. Such a good episode. I can't wait for the next one, but I think what's going to happen in the next episode is that the little boy is going to be right, and Isaac will have adapted, and he'll have learned something from his time with the humans. Oh, this is such a good episode. Like I said, 10 out of 10. I absolutely love it. What did you guys think of this episode? I am very much looking forward to the next one. And of course, I do make a lot of comparisons to Discovery because they're both shows that are basically trying to do the same thing. One actually is being Star Trek, and the other one is just being labeled as Star Trek and is something completely different. It's clear to me that Orville is the clear successor to Star Trek, and I am so happy with this show. Like I said, go watch it. 10 out of 10. What did you guys think of this episode? What did I miss? What did I forget? I know I glossed over some of the plot points, but man, this was a fun one. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!